8:30 on the dot. Part 1 at 6.2 News for London. Here's James Hardigan.
Tributes are pouring in for leader of the monster raving loony party, Screaming Lord Sarge, who's been found dead at his home in Harrow.
Where is he? Come on. Have you got permission to film? It's Colin.
Steer! Fuck off that camera!
10 years ago, I started photographing a gang of violent neo-Nazi skinheads. I followed them across the country as they sought to defend their white cause. The gang were one of the most fanatically militant in the country, under constant police surveillance. I spent 2 years documenting their lives for a book, trying to get behind their hatred and bigotry. Although I was repulsed by their violent racism, I got to know them as individuals, slowly gaining their trust and acceptance into their private world. Now in their 30s, I wanted to find out what had happened to them. Had their racism and violence kept them on the margins of society?
I don't want to take the habit of a lifetime.
Colin is now 34. He spent the last year in Maidstone prison for fraud and theft.
Love you.
Places and bridges, she was mine. Skinhead girl, she was mine. Skinhead girl, she was mine. Skinhead girl, she was mine. Skinhead girl.
I've participated in petrol bombing in Germany, on Turkish hostels. I've participated in CS gas attacks in England, baseball bat attacks, firearms, terrorising people. I don't know, it's stuff, I wouldn't say I was ashamed of it, I wish I'd never done it. But it wasn't until I met Carla that I realised that you got to look after your family before you can sort out your country.
Colin met Carla 7 years ago when he came to one of her parties.
Yeah, put me in water.
He stayed that night and has been living there ever since.
Smile. That's not something you gave birth to, Kerry.
4 years ago, they were married in an Odinist ritual in Iceland.
Defensive now because there's food there.
They have 5 children, 3 of them Columns.
This boy come to our school and I was supposed to be looking after him and I was supposed to be holding his hand and I wasn't holding his hand because he was coloured.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, I'll tell you off, didn't you?
You thought what?
I fought it. My dad told me off.
And did he tell you off?
No, I got it. No.
So did you hold his hand in the end?
You didn't tell me that.
I mean, he's picking this up from home. You said he's not picking up stuff. He must be picking.
I never said he wasn't picking nothing up. He's never forced to do anything.
Right, okay.
I wouldn't say, don't talk to him because he's black, don't do this because he's black. I might wind them up now and again if they've got a black friend because they know my feelings and I wind them up about it. It's a bit like Lacey was meant to have a little black boyfriend, which I wouldn't have. That I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have? What do you mean?
No. Well, because I don't agree with race mixing, and even though she's only still a kid, it's not going to get it's not going to get serious. But I won't accept it.
Did you tell Lacey not that she couldn't have this boyfriend?
Yeah.
Is that right, Lacey? Do you remember that? And were you sad?
No. Yes, you were.
When I first met Colin, he was a devoted and idealistic follower of the far right, keen to distance himself from his previous love of black-influenced northern soul music. His beliefs are still staunch, but he's now cut his ties with all political groups.
Would you join a group now if there was one?
I'd never join a right-wing group again in my life. Never. If I knew I had 200 Asians, 300 Afro-Caribbeans and a tank load of Jews coming around my house tonight, and the only way I could stop me and my family getting wiped out is by joining C18 or BNP, I'd take my chances. No, to be gospel, I'd take my chances. They promise you the world, you know what I mean? They promise you this Fourth Reich, if you like, you know what I mean? You know, everything to be nice and white, and whiter than white. Your kids won't walk the streets seeing homosexuals walking hand in hand and men dressed up in dresses, and they promise that your children won't have to walk over the shops and see cages over shop windows and broken beer bottles everywhere, and they promise you that your children will never be addicted to drugs in the future. But they didn't come up with any of them promises in one way, shape or form at all.
The gang have now split up. Many of them have steady jobs and families and refuse to talk to me. But I was determined to track down one of the gang's organisers, Neil. He had helped me in the past and was the gang member I got closest to.
I was looking to be somebody. I wanted to be something. Right or wrong, whatever it was, I chose that way. But I liked the power, and I thought I was doing something good, and I thought, oh well, I'll be remembered for this, and I wanted to be somebody, and do something and change something.
Neil was forced out of the far-right movement after an internal power struggle led to threats on his life. He was also having problems with his marriage.
We were destroying each other, and neither of us were happy. And there was violence and nastiness there. And the pressure overboard in the end, and because of it all, I OD'd on it. Yeah, I OD'd on, just as a cry of help, I think it was. I mean, I'd never done nothing like that before in my life, and there was a lot of stress, and I never know where to turn to. I think I didn't know what to do.
What happened?
I overdosed on painkillers. That was it. It was, like I say, a cry for help, really. That's what it was. And I ended up in hospital. And
how did you end up in hospital?
Well, the ambulance light.
Did you call an ambulance?
No, she called the ambulance light.
How did she know?
Well, she found me semi-unconscious on the bed, sort of thing. Took to hospital and
did you know that she'd find you?
No, not really. I didn't really think about it. Nothing went through my mind. I just thought, I fucking had enough of being all this fucking pressure, man. The pressure, all for it. Like the last 2 years, all the right-wing stuff, breaking away from them was a big change. Adjusting into society was a fucking big. It's hard. I still find it to try and adjust, and then from that into normal mainstream fucking society, and I found it hard. To get on with people and everyday life sort of thing.
Neil got divorced, changed his name and moved to a different part of the country. He's now trying to rebuild his life outside the far right.
Can you love now? Do you know how to love in a way that you didn't know before?
Love, yeah. Well, the girlfriend I got now, I do love her. I didn't even know what love was. I thought I was just a fucking someone who's good at shagging or something.
Would you love a black person?
No. I don't really hate black people, but I don't really want nothing to do with them. They should live their separate lives and their culture, and I should live my separate life and my culture. You shouldn't mix.
The final member of the gang I managed to find was Nick. When I last met him, he had been given a 2-year prison sentence for his part in a vicious attack on a group of Asian waiters. After 3 months of phone calls and 5 cancelled appointments, he agreed to be filmed.
Well, when I was in Pentonville, Pentonville on remand, it was not too clever to say the least, because there was a lot of yardies in the Pentonville jail. And I would say most of the population on the wing that I was on was, what, 70% black. And 25% of the other 30% that was there, that what was white, were indebted to the blacks with a smack. So, well, I got a good hiding in prison from the yardies, because I was deemed to be the biggest one, and consequently, I don't know whether they looked at me as a leader, but they considered, like, well, if we get the biggest one down first, then the other ones will step into line.
While Nick was in prison, none of the organisations he belonged to supported him or his family.
When I got out of jail, my loyalties shifted from the fact that before I went to the prison, I would say, you know, my loyalties were virtually 50-50 with my family and the politics. When I got out of jail, my family had stayed loyal to me, and I had shifted the balance of power in my own mind as regards to how I felt about a lot of people. Yeah. And at the end of the day, my family had stayed loyal to me for the best part of a year whilst I was in prison. So I believe when I got out of prison, I offered them, well, owed them, I should say, the same sense of loyalty as they'd given me. Before I went to prison, I was defending all white people and against all black Asians, if you want. But from what I saw in prison, I mean, I can't defend the smackheads, the rapists, the nonsense, which a lot of them were whites, you know. Some of them were black, but I can't defend that, you know what I mean? To me, they're scum, you know.
Close, don't do that.
A week after Colin's release, I'm invited to a barbecue where I meet Carla's brother-in-law, Terry.
I've got to get that grease out of your shirt. Oh, Kerry. So you've got potato, what have you sold? Oh, I love you.
When I knew you 10 years ago, Colin,
Yeah.
and if I had said to you, in 10 years' time, you're going to be in the front of your house cooking a barbecue for a black person, what would you say to me? What would you say?
Same as I'll tell you now, I'm not. He's here. I'm cooking it for my family. Everybody else is just guests.
Don't tell him to go tell the old ladies get out of fucking bed and then cook my barbecue. Bollocks, I ain't having this.
You got a loudspeaker so the rest of the street can hear her.
Yeah. Fucking hearing. And let you in to do the fucking dishes.
Dishwasher?
What? Saves electric if you got a Kaffir to do your work for you.
The sad thing about Terry is, that I don't like, is the case that he, how do I put it? It's a shame that he's half-caste. As a person, he's a bloody nice bloke. I don't agree with race mixing. When we've discussed it with Terry before, he said he has had hard times, like when he was a kid and everything else. The thing I do like about Terry is, he's not like your average half-caste where he takes on, you know, the black culture. I mean, he likes his bit of reggae and, you know, everything else, but Terry's always classed himself as Terry.
How would you describe Carla politically?
Fucked up. Definitely.
When I first met her, she wasn't political at all. Really, until she met Colin. But, and I suppose views have grown on her since then.
No, I've always had views, I just
Or
have never known...
Political views.
No, I've had political views.
Yeah, but when I first met you,
I've never
were...
voiced my political views, I've never known how to.
Well, perhaps not.
I'm not racist, am I?
No, not racist at all. Just don't like black people.
I don't like anyone.
Colin is on probation and hasn't found a job yet. He spends most of his time at home helping Carla look after the children.
You gotta fight for white.
Since leaving the gang 9 years ago, Colin has lost all contact with the other members.
Don't start to bother. We had smiles on our faces a lot of the times, and we enjoyed ourselves as a group. And it wasn't so much a case of enjoying what we were doing. It didn't even cross our mind. It was... That's what we felt we had to do. It wasn't a case of enjoying it, it just came natural. It was natural to step off a train at Euston and see a load of Reds there and to steam straight into him or abuse him in one way, shape or form. It was a natural thing to do. No one had to encourage another one to do it. The minute we bumped into these people, everybody knew what everybody else was going to do. So it just happened. It wasn't a case of, come on then lads, or one person starts saluting or anything like that. Just everybody knew their job. Everybody knew their part.
Colin has been arrested after smashing up the house.
We had a barbecue.
Today?
Yeah. And because I didn't want a sausage, he went into one. Big time.
Because you didn't want a sausage?
Or a bit of chicken, or a burger. He threw it out and out wobbly, mate.
Really?
Colin's not the pretty picture everybody's got of him.
Yeah.
And I'm not hiding it anymore. I've just spent a year looking after him. Go and shut him up, Fry.
Okay.
He started throwing all the barbecue bits all over the place. There were quite a few people out there. And then he came through the house, smashing the house up. Kicked all the kitchen cupboards out, overlight, the freezer, his roomy freezer. He attempted to get nasty with me, but Duncan dived in between them. Hello? I am Carla. If you let him out, he's going to come back here. He's got a knife in his possession. He's going to hurt me. Sorry? It was in his beholdall. Yeah. And the policewoman, it's a double-sided boot knife. OK then. Right, bye. Well, they're thinking of letting him out. And I know he's going to come back here. He's going to cause loads of trouble. And he's going to aim to hurt me. Colin is a highly violent person. Big time. I've stood by him for 7 years and I'm not willing to put my kids through it anymore. My kids are scared of him. And he's been promising me for a year that he's going to make it better, everything's going to be all right, blah, blah, blah. And I've been promising the kids that Daddy's going to come home being a daddy and a husband and everything's going to be nice and hunky-dory. The atmosphere in this house has changed considerably since he's been home. People won't come and see me no more. The whole thing's closing down. And it's all because of the way he is. He's really, really violent. If they release him tonight, he will come for me. And then he'll end up with it in his head and his hands, crying his eyes out, telling me he loves me and wants me back. But not this time. I will divorce him this time.
A week after Colin and Carla's fight, Colin has returned home, but is sleeping on the sofa.
When I was in prison, all my friends were around, the house was full. We had a great laugh, and I had loads of people around me. I felt secure, I felt happy, I wasn't stressed, I wasn't anxious. And then he came home, I've got no friends, I'm stressed and anxious. He makes me feel, and he knows it, makes me feel ugly, so ugly inside and out. Inadequate as a woman. Doesn't find me physically attractive. But I don't care no more.
Carla is a very, very strong woman, even physically, and she's not scared of nothing and no one.
But she's afraid of you sometimes, Colin.
She's afraid of me because the last thing anyone wants to have done to them is a fuckload of pain by someone they love. I think that's what scares them more than anything. I think Carla's the same as all people. She's scared of dying, but fancy dying by somebody that's supposed to love you that much. I think that's the only reason she's scared of me, because it's of who I am. Not what I'm capable of, because anybody's capable of what I'm capable of. Anybody's capable of what you're capable of. They've just got to have the balls to do it at the time, or not even the balls, the stupidity to do it at the time. But it's because I'm doing it to her, and I'm meant to love her so much.
Why are you doing it for?
Because her strength scares me.
The gang's world revolved around violence. It was their greatest political weapon. It got things done, it got them noticed, but it went deeper than that. An individual's devotion to danger and violence gained respect and trust. It became part of their identity.
What does it feel like to stab somebody?
It's too easy. It's too easy. It's like getting some butter out of a tub. You know, you don't feel nothing. I don't. Nothing at all. I've stabbed some bloke at a party because I had a row with my wife, and I went out on the piss all day, sort of thing, and just got so pissed up, and I just wanted to take it out on someone. Half the time I didn't even think about it. And I was just pissed off, really angry, and the biggest geezer in the party with the biggest mouth, I just went over to him and stabbed him in the belly area. And I never even looked back and nothing. You know, the geezer nearly died. You know, I didn't even know. I'd never seen him before in my life. I'd never seen him again in my life. You know, I never thought about it afterwards or nothing. Well, you know, let's say, just thought about myself. I mean, and that's what shocked me really. In that, just do things like that and not even think about it.
Some people pull a knife out and they end up cutting their finger, don't they? When Neil ever pulls a knife out, you make sure you run in the opposite direction.
Why?
Because he'd cut you with it.
Definitely.
Well, if he felt it necessary to pull a knife out, then he'd cut you with it.
So he wouldn't play games. He wasn't ever pretending.
No. I always felt safe around Neil. Vice versa, you know.
Nick and Neil became skinheads at 13. Gradually, they moved into the neo-Nazi movement together.
Well, Neil was my best mate, you know, at one time. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's moved away now. We're not as close as what we used to be. Again, he's got on with his life, I've got on with mine, but at the time, like, I mean, we were as close could be, you know what I mean? If you can actually turn around and say you can love a man without fucking sounding fucking homosexual, like, I mean, there was almost that kind of, like, bond between me and Neil, you know what I mean? But, hey, times change.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Summer. Happy birthday to you.
Neil has 3 children from his previous marriage and a baby daughter called Summer with his new girlfriend, Charlene.
1, 2, 3. Oh, Alicia's off.
He's changed.
Has he changed?
He's with my daughter, so...
Were you worried about him?
A little bit at first, yeah, when I first met him. Yeah. But as time has gone on, I've got to know him a lot better. And he's changed. He's a very good father. He is, to the kids. Yeah.
Neil's police record started when he was 12, and he went on to accumulate over 40 criminal convictions.
Are we getting anywhere?
For 2 years now, he has been trying to live a life of suburban normality and has had no further convictions.
But those friendships that you had from the gang, it was a very intense friendships.
Yeah.
I mean, it was life and death in some cases.
It very was, yeah. Yeah, it was. And you had to trust these people, and you had to trust them with a lot of dodgy things going on around you. Illegal things going on. A lot of dodgy things going on, which they could have stitched me up for a very long time. And or it could be a dangerous situation where you've got to trust this person that they're going to, if you're going to go in, they're going to be behind you all the way, because otherwise there's no way out. You know what I mean? You could get seriously hurt, if not killed.
But will you ever, can you have that, you can't have that kind of relationship?
No, never have that again. Them sort of comradeship and that bond, well, I will never have again.
Do you miss that?
I do, yeah. You miss that loyalty, yeah, definitely. I miss that feeling, yeah.
And what are you going to do? Is there anything you can do to replace that?
No. Well, without said that without thinking really, but I've got the different sort of, like with through Charlene, that when we got that bond there, understand, but it's not the same as the friendship loyalty thing, I know, but maybe that is some sort of substitute.
Half these people making all the racket, they'll be asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we'll still be stomping like that. You pace yourself.
Neil has found a new passion, something that was forbidden by the far right because of its association with drugs. Neil has told me that raving opened a door in his head. Since then, he's thrown himself into the culture.
It's so chilled out and laid back, and everyone just gets on with each other, and there's no one judges you, no one cares how you dance, you just do your own thing, yeah? And it's once you go through that, you never turn back, sort of thing. It's like a breath of fresh air, really.
Is it something you needed, do you think, at the time?
Definitely, it'd get me away from violence, isn't it?
Has it got you away from violence?
Yeah. I mean, all I've done today, no violent bit of me. I mean, all I've done is take the piss out of every cunt. You know what I mean? Just had a laugh and a joke and just be a fool, really. No Mr. fucking Image, no hard men, no fucking nothing. No give it the big un, no reputation, nothing. Just fucking acting a fucking joker and running around like a clown. No problem, no hassle. It's just good fun.
Colin has finished the first week of his new job at a builder's yard and is trying to fit in with family life. He's told Carla that he felt threatened by how well they all coped without him while he was in prison.
I love my daddy.
Did you say you've had a tough life?
Very. You say, did I ever had a tough life, or am I having a tough life?
Well, would
Let's go for both.
You talk about what happened in your childhood.
I'm not going to talk about it.
What happened in your childhood?
Where do you want me to start? What age? It all went wrong when I was about 9. Well, my little brother come along. My dad always wanted 6 girls. And if he got, if my brother was a girl, they'd have carried on and had more. But he came along, they really hated the idea of having a boy. And they rejected him from day one. He was in hospital for 2 months. He was so ill, so underweight. And then the day he came home sort of thing, I had him dumped on me, and I've raised him ever since. Just before he came home, I was raped. Badly.
What age were you?
9. When I was raped, I was 9. And then best friend, I was raped, my best friend was made to watch it. What's worse, I mean, the bloke, we knew him from being kids anyway. He was a neighbour.
Is he still a neighbour?
No, he died in the end. And cheeky bastards come around our house for a collection for his wreath. And this day, my mum, she denies it happens, I think. Me and my mum just don't get on anymore. Just don't get on.
Colin is desperate to prove to Carla that he's changed his ways. He's agreed to spend more time with her, doing things as a couple.
Yeah, cover up some, touch up some foot right. Right then. Okay, very, very still. Well done.
Oh, it hurting?
Cheers, mate.
Oh, that's it, baby.
Yep.
Tell me about Colin.
I always felt it was more of a case for show with him as what it was, you know, the case of what we was about, you know what I mean? I mean, I haven't got no axe to grind with Colin, but I never had the same kind of respect with Colin as what I did say for Neil, you know, Spike and a few of the others, you know? Because Colin seemed to me to be, to a degree, when he started, to be playing at it and not as committed as the rest of us, you know? I mean, the other thing with Colin was like, I mean, I never believed he had the same kind of bottle that we had, you know what I mean? He was always sort of like, oh yeah, I'll come and help you, but then he'd always be 3 steps behind you when you was going in, you know what I mean? We were seeing each other every week, you know. Like, we was
Since leaving prison, Nick has built friendships with people he once considered a subspecies. Jamie was Nick's first black friend. Nick feels that it's important that he's completely open about his past. He's decided to show Jamie the photographs I took of the gang.
What's in here is, right, apart from the photograph that I showed you, right, is like photographs of when Pete followed us around doing the book, right. If it's like being gay, you was the first person I come out to, if you want. Yeah. First true black friend I ever met, right? And this is like, okay, whatever I might have told you, this is like, there's some things in it that might offend. Yeah. Right? So, along with that, you might get offended with me.
When you took me around your house and you showed me them pictures of National Front, all sort of, I was like, yeah, but that was then.
Yeah.
That was then. This is now.
That's right.
So that's what's in my mind. So you can show me these pictures, and I'll be like, nah, that's out of order. But that was then. This is now.
This, right, we was the gang that we used to be in, right? Once upon a time, we all believed that we was responsible for each other. But this is me then, like you said, and this is me now. Your friend, yeah? I mean, it's like this one. I mean, at one stage, we was prepared to kill, you know what I mean? I mean, I couldn't give 2 fucks whether you're black, right? I really couldn't. That's irrelevant, right? Me and you, mate. I know you'd stand by me, and if my kid was in trouble down the street, you'd look after my kids.
Because what you've seen now, what you've seen is like behind the colour.
I can get on with blacks because there is a part of myself that I can see in them. With the Asians, they're always trying to have things their own way. They're not prepared to buckle down and do it, with the status quo. They want something extra for themselves. If I feel this way towards Asians and Pakistanis, then there must be a degree of racism. But at least I'm honest with it, and as much as I've corrected a lot of things about myself, and who's to say, in 10 years' time, I may feel differently about the Asian. But as it goes, the 10 years that I've spent since the book and the way you last saw me is the fact that I've made dramatic leaps in who I am. But who's to say where I can be in 10 years' time, you know what I mean? At the moment, I believe I'm the same kind of racist as your average Englishman in the street, if you want.
Good afternoon. Detectives hunting the London nail bombers today seized explosives as they arrested a man at a house in Hampshire. Officers moved in hours after the blast, which ripped through a packed pub in Soho, killing 2...
3 months into filming, a man is arrested for a series of racist and anti-gay nail bombings. 3 people have been killed and over 100 injured. The bombing campaign has put the far right in the spotlight again, and Neil has been threatening to pull out of the film. But after the arrest, he finally agrees to talk to me.
What do you think about the London bombings?
London bombing, I got at least that geezer. He got off his arse and done something what he believed in. He stood by it and he see it. He's got more bottle than I ever would have. Definitely, that Andre. He had his politics. He was fed up with the way things doing, and he wanted to get out there and do something about it. And he got off his arse and he did it. And I'll give him 100% respect for what he did. I just wouldn't have the bottle to it. I'd be too worried about the consequences. Not about the people, just the consequences. Maybe they call that selfish, but maybe I'm just a selfish sort of person.
Hang on a minute here now. We're talking about killing, maiming, bombing.
It's a war. That geezer, he thought as a war. I can understand what he was thinking. Yeah, I could, yeah. I mean, when you're involved deeply in things like this, it's them or you.
If you said there's one problem why you didn't want to get married, what would it be? What would you say?
Violence.
Sorry?
The violence.
That worries you?
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Neil? Do you understand what you're saying?
Yeah.
Do you feel that he has control of his violence?
No, I don't know.
Does it worry you?
Yeah.
And how are you dealing with that problem, the two of you?
Me not shouting.
All right, Em. All right, I'll see you in a bit, Em. All right, love you.
Charlene has moved out of Neil's house.
Right, there you go.
She has told him she can't handle his aggression.
Quick cup of tea.
Neil thinks the filming is partly to blame.
Well, I think it's brought up a lot of old memories, and it's brought up, this violence thing all the time. You know what I mean? And it's put. I mean, Charlie knows about my past sort of things, but I just think he's put it in the front of it all. Really, just put a little bit of an edge to it all.
Could you contemplate a future without Charlene?
Well, I've not really thought about it. Well, not really, because I love her. Not really, because I don't want a future without Charlene. Not really. Yeah, we've gone through a lot worse than this, and a lot of bad things when we first started together. And a lot of stress and all that. A lot of things, and we've managed to crawl through somehow. So I've got too much to lose as well, because we're good together. We are, definitely. So it's I think she's worth making the sacrifices for and doing things for. Yeah.
Are you afraid of Neil?
Am I what?
Are you afraid of Neil?
Yeah, I am. When we argue, I am. That's why I have to get out. Because, he has told me that he will kill me. We had an argument one time, and I told him I was leaving him, and I'd find someone else, and he said to me, it will slash my face up so no one will ever look at me again. That frightened me.
Did you believe that he would do that?
Yeah, I did.
Do you believe he would now?
Yeah, I think he would. If he thought I was with anybody else, I think he would, yeah.
You think it's your past that catches up with you sometimes?
So you do it sometimes, but you can't just blame anything. You can't blame one thing, I don't think. I mean, maybe it is the past, maybe it's the way I've been treated and I've treated the society and whatever, but what's deep inside me, like emotional scars or whatever, you know, maybe it's things like that. You know what I mean? That's, yeah. I ain't got a clue, I'm not a fucking psychiatrist, man. It's not if they can do any good, but I ain't got no answers really. There is a deep rooted problem in there, but just rooting it out, isn't it? It's finding it. I mean, I've been able to control it, but it's always there, you know what I mean? It is. And sometimes I find, especially when there's a lot of stress around, I do find it hard to control it.
Reputation and image were an integral part of the gang's makeup. To be violent wasn't enough. You had to parade your identity. Colin still wears his identity with pride. His hardcore ideology is well known on the estate. By hanging the Union Jack from the front of Carla's house, he has antagonised many of his neighbours.
Oh yeah, some geezer came over for you. Oh, what's that for? He goes, well, you've got until tomorrow to fucking take that flag down. I said, oh, bollocks to all that. She goes, well, he's coming back tomorrow. Anyway, later on that day, there's a knock at the door.
Goes on from the Irish. That's it. Come on,
yeah.
said that.
So I've gone up there, I answered the door, opened the door like to about here. I'm standing like that. Whoa! I said, why don't you fuck off, you feeding cunt? He's like, oh, what's that you got behind the door? I said, hold on, open the fucking door. I've got him. This you cunt. And he's like, fucking shot off. Fucking wanker. Crossbow. See you later, love. See you later, Cody.
Colin and Carla's house has been a refuge for some of the teenagers in trouble on the estate.
Sometimes, but then I go out and it's half the time it's I've shagged her and fucking and she hates it and I can't blame her. That's why I don't.
They took Reese in when he was 13.
Before keeping it in the trousers.
He lived with them for a couple of years and they still look out for him.
Just stop it, innit?
The dog must have thought it was a packy. You think about it, right? He must have seen all these other white boys walking at dogs, like, you know, and you see these himself with the packies and he wonder why he gets his fucking windows bricked and that. The dog must have thought it was a packy.
Well, you covered it, didn't you?
Yeah. Completely covered his front window. I stuck some dog shit through his letterbox. A couple of packies that live up the road. We covered their whole house. Well, their whole front and window in stickers and shit. And I stuck some shit through their letterbox and that. Just pissed up one night, having a laugh.
What do you think about doing that now?
I don't know. Tell you the truth. If I think I'd still do it, you know.
You would?
Yeah.
You're not worried about how they might feel about it?
Nah, a lot of fuck.
Why not?
Nah, you know, but it's not. It's a lot of worse things you could do, isn't there? I suppose. You know, sticking some stickers up. That's nothing really, is it? There's plenty of lot worse things you could do.
How did you get into politics?
Well, I started getting into politics really when I come round to Cole's house.
Milo!
And
You should be alright, he'll be alright. Milo! 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 Milo, get out! Get here now! Get out!
dogs love a fight.
Get out!
You can't blame a fucking packy that's qualified to be a doctor wanting to earn fucking whatever he earns over here compared to fucking what? A couple of mud pies at the end of the week over there. You know, you can't blame them for that, but you know, someone has got to say fucking enough is enough and start reversing the process before it just goes Pete Tong. Because it will do.
Here, boy. Milo. Come on. Come on. Oh, you fucking cock.
Although Neil and Charlene are still seeing each other, Charlene has decided to live on her own. Neil has found a new job driving a forklift at a local factory.
So one of my favourite tunes. Ian Stewart, Screwdriver. Tomorrow Belongs to Me.
If I play my records, they depress me.
Why?
It builds feelings up.
Do what?
It builds feelings up, doesn't it? It brings back pictures of old times and things. Each record like means something. It does. It depresses me.
Why? Because you're no longer part
Do you have
of it?
sugar?
No, thanks. If it's
No,
in it.
it's just it's just like certain things bring back certain memories, don't they? Good memories, you know what I mean? Good laughs and all that. It's different things like that. So it brings a lot of pride. Comes back into me, you know what I mean, and things like that. And the songs and what they meant to me, and it's always there, you know what I mean? It's weird.
So where are you going?
We're going to the doctors. See if he can get me to see a counsellor for anger management.
But you're joking, but it is a serious thing, no?
Oh, he's serious, yeah. I'm serious about it. That's what I want to do.
Whose idea was
It's a big fucking step for me, this is. It's my idea. I've been meaning to do it for ages, but I just never got round to it. Just kept putting it. You put it off and put it off, don't you? It's that sort of thing.
What are you going to say to them?
I don't know yet. I'll just see what comes out. I ain't got a clue. So, just grab him across the desk and just whack him there. Look, I think I've got a problem with violence. No, that is a bad idea.
Neil was worried that the doctor wouldn't take him seriously with the camera there. He asked me not to film.
Well, that fucking doctors, man. They don't like to do anything, do they? Although I'm gonna write a letter to go for psychiatric help, and I'll receive from them probably an appointment to go down and see some psychiatrist. I suppose that's what it is, isn't it? From psychiatric unit.
Will you follow it through, Neil?
Yeah.
The counselling?
Yeah. As long as I don't start fucking talking a lot of crap, but...
What do you mean? What's a load of crap? Define to me what a load of crap is.
Well, yeah, just going around the edge of it, or not really giving you anything positive or something you can see that's achieving afterwards. You know, something solid to like go for. Just sitting talking about your problems isn't enough. I want some proper advice and some things I can actually do, physically or mentally, just to build walls to stop these things. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
3 months after Colin and Carla's last breakup, it's all fallen apart again.
We've been arguing again, mate.
Colin agreed to talk to me at the grave of Carla's stillborn baby from her first marriage.
Here I am, a pagan in a Christian fucking churchyard, putting flowers on the grave of a boy that isn't even mine. And what's more criminal is the only time I come over to see his grave is when me and his mum have had an argument. I said before, I normally spend a bit of time up here and I'll chat with him and let him know what's been going on. And what a fucking cunt I've been.
The things he's done to me are just unreal. He's knocked me clean out, he's put me through a window, only a little landing window. He threw me down the stairs once, knocked me clean out. And while I was unconscious, I was sick, if I remember rightly. And I got a good item for being sick, and I was a dirty bitch when I came round.
I just wanted idealism. I wanted things to be nice, white and bright. Nothing's ever straight cut, is there? Just the romance that goes with it. Swastika, sunwheel, wolf's angle, things like that. It don't mean nothing unless you've got something to share it with.
I've held someone's hand in the black. I've had black people in my house. I've been cuddled by Terry, my kid's godfather. It's not as if colour rubs off, is it? It's not going to come off onto AJ's hand. I don't want AJ thinking like that. I don't want my kids growing up like that. He's weird. Colin is strange. Colin will act a part. He acts a part. If he's got to act a part to get into a relationship, he'll do it. When I'm not the first person he started seeing when he came down here from Milton Keynes. He lived with a half-caste girl for 2 months. And when it comes to all his political correctness and all these bits and bobs and, you know, how staunch he is, I just used to... When it came to a personal thing with us, I didn't throw it in his face as such, but I used to try and compare the two. If you can sleep with someone you don't believe in, you can't even sleep with your own wife, sort of thing. He's strange.
Hang on a minute. Carla, can't just let that one go past. He lives with a half-caste girl.
Yeah.
Is he open about that?
What do you think?
Would he talk to me about that?
No idea.
So what do you think it is about the racism and do you think that's a mask?
He's full of shit. He'll do anything. He'll play a part that makes him look what he wants to be, bigger than I am. Colin's not. Colin's a pussy. Colin is, as far as I'm concerned, he's a wanker. Because he can't, he's pretending to be what he's not all the time.
A week after Carla kicked Colin out, she has started divorce proceedings against him.
What's it over here? Can't see it.
They are no longer on speaking terms. Colin asked me to show her the footage of him at the graveyard.
There's more to it, Leon. There's more to it, mate.
That? What a big load of shit. I've never seen so much shit in all my life. Until he can drop his guard, be himself, he's never going to have a life. He has got so much to lose, he's lost so much.
Is there any doubt in your mind?
About what?
About divorcing him?
I'd love not to divorce him, Leo. I'd love to be happily married with him. I'd love it. I love Colin. I don't deny that. I've got to love him to do the shit and put up with the shit that I've put up with him. And all I've ever asked for out of it is for a husband. I can't even get that out of him. I get a self-satisfying, hypocritical arsehole. Colin can't be honest.
I promise you now, I'll come down. Won't be till about a month.
We never sit down and fucking laugh for the chat.
The strong bond between Nick and Neil has remained unaffected by Nick's changing attitude to race.
Got to get down there and queue up and everything.
I miss you, man. I'll say
I miss going out for a drink. Yeah. I don't miss the ad growing up, but I miss. The thing is, it's gone now, isn't it? Sort of thing. I do enjoy coming down here and having a fucking crack and all that. Yeah. Well, Nick's all loved up. Is he? I didn't know he was on them funny pills.
He's getting a fucking horn up because there's a camera about it.
In his own way, Neil's outlook has also moved on.
It is a brilliant idea, but he wants it from 8 o'clock until 8 o'clock next day morning.
So you're going to have to be running around.
Oh, yeah.
So you want some decent money for it, really, don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Even with free. But yes, definitely. They enjoy a meal.
Thanks a lot, yeah. I don't want to live next door to him and his mother and his grandmother and his grandmother's aunties, uncles, kids and all that. And I'd rather him not be in my country. But there's fuck all I can do about it. I've tried. So I'm just trying to get on with my life. But the best way I can without any going in there. What's the point of going in there? And fucking clucky busters and all this fucking thing. There's no point.
But is there a part of you, Neil, now, honestly here, honest answer, is there a part of you that is worried about what your old cronies will think?
Oh, yeah, I do, yeah. I think, oh, yeah, well, they're going to think I'm fucking right race traitor and they're going to think I'm fucking sold out and all this. But fuck them, I don't give a fuck, man, I'm me.
What's going on, Carl?
Nothing.
What's changed since we last spoke?
I don't know. When did we last speak?
Yesterday.
Oh. Well, I agreed to go out with him last night for a drink. And I didn't come home till early as this morning. We had a good night out.
No. No.
We're not back together. I was going to use him for sex and things.
Whoops. Sorry.
Steve?
Ball. Big ball.
After 10 months with Colin and Carla, I'm beginning to feel I'm no closer to understanding Colin. I feel like he's not being honest with me.
I have changed in some ways, but not in others. I've just got to be able to prove to Carla now that I've changed in them ways, and that's what I'm aiming at. But I feel better myself because I know I have.
Can I ask you something here now, Colin? It might be a little bit sensitive for you. In your previous relationship, you had a relationship with a half-caste woman. Is this true?
Mm.
What was that about? I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, Colin. Do you feel like you've been... Hold on a bit. Hang on a minute. No. Let's not do it like this.
Let him calm down, Leah. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Oh!
What did it say? What did it say?
Vicar vanished. No, Vicar.
Vanquished.
It's been 2 months since Charlene left Neil. He's now spending more time at our new house.
The Vicar?
Well, they call him Victor. His name's Victor, but they call him Vicar.
You're the kind of guy who 1 minute you're open and the very next minute you're putting people at arm's length. You don't like letting people get close to you.
Well, no, you learn that right from the beginning, don't you? You let people get close to you, and next thing you know, they're knocking you down.
Is that your experience with Neil?
That's what he said to me when I first met him. That he didn't want to fall in love with me. Because he didn't want to get hurt, didn't you?
Yeah. That's it.
He kept telling me that I'm not going to fall in love with you. Because he's been hurt too many times in the past.
You let people in and they betray you. One way or another. They learn your weaknesses and then they destroy you. So you don't let them in. Simple as that. Because if you let them in and show people your weaknesses, you're fucked, then, yeah.
Neil has been for his first appointment with a counsellor.
She asked me loads and loads of questions and that. Yeah, they do. They analyse you. Well, you know, about my past and all that. What's the problem like, and who doctor referred me and why, and she just threw loads of questions at you to try and find out exactly what's what and all that. Do I hear voices and all this sort of thing? Yeah. I think people are watching me. Background, life, what I'm doing now and all this sort of thing. She says I've done really well, like, you know, in the last 3 years, you know, compared to what, you know, violence, you know, kept out of jail and kept off substances and stopped drinking and, do you know what I mean? But she goes, oh yeah, but because the feelings are there and all that. She's, well, the bottom line, what she's doing, she's going to put me on she's going to see this bloke who's going to deal with anger management.
Get off.
I said,
oh!
Can find out what kicks it off, get to the cause of it, what makes me flip like that, and then see what they can do about it. She said there's no cures because it says it's hard in your case because it's so interbred and, you know, it's part of your life, and it's, you know, ingrained, as she says it was. You'll have to come to these things as well.
Good.
With me.
See my side of the story, can't I?
It's not a side thing, is it? Hey. It's not whose side, your side or my side, is it? Huh?
Well,
is that what you
my
go
side.
there for, to see who's going to win the game?
No.
No, exactly.
Don't start.
Well, it's not like that, is it? You're just going there to see whose side's this person on, whose side's that person on.
Also, I'm supposed to just sit there and nod my head when she asks me questions then?
About what? What are you on about?
Well, what's the point of me going if I can't have my say?
It's there to put everything, the cards on the table, and put all what's happening on the table, and let them see what they can help us with. Not to point fingers whose fault it is.
Yeah, all right. You're going on again.
I'm not. I'm just telling you what happened. You asked me what happened, so I told you. You won't bother.
Did it feel good to talk about it?
Hey, well, I've just tried it. It did feel good a minute ago to talk about it, yeah. What's that? Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
I feel that something has changed within Neil. He believes his problems are being taken seriously and is attending 3 different forms of counselling. He will soon begin group therapy.
They can't get me in a group with other people or in a group therapy if I'm anti this person, anti gay, or anti that person, anti this person, anti that person, because I wouldn't work in the group, would it? And she's worried about other people. If I'm meant to be this anti-violence, and I'm going to violent classes with other violent people, and some of these people are people I don't agree with, and people I don't mix with, she doesn't want violence happening, does she? Obviously.
But are you still having those feelings, do you think, about other people?
No, I told her. I think I said no to her. I mean, I wouldn't be bothered about it. And such, I just keep myself to myself. That's what I said to her, really.
Do you think that if you were in a group with black people and gay people...
I wouldn't feel comfortable, no. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't really want to be in that group with them, really. I ain't got nothing in common with them sort of people. I don't want to really mix with them sort of people. I don't give a fuck what they do. They do what I want, but I don't want to really... I wouldn't feel relaxed. And if I went to a group, I'd have to feel happy with it. And comfortable with it. Otherwise it won't work.
So Colin, the last time we spoke on film, you were a little upset.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me why? What happened?
When I moved to Canberra, I had a relation with a half-caste girl. It's
for more than obvious reasons, didn't last.
This thing has been very difficult for you, Colin, to discuss this. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious why, but can you just tell me a little bit, I mean, even for the sake of obviousness, why it is so difficult for you to discuss this?
Well, because it's possibly the biggest taboo, isn't it? I mean, God knows what could have happened. Like I said before, a child could have occurred out of it. And then that would have been, I would have been participating in possibly the biggest taboo from that, you know what I mean? Having a child of mixed race, which I would have denied all the way down the line, and I don't think I would have been able to cope with. And that would have been fair on everybody involved.
Ten years ago, I tried to document the reality behind the image, rhetoric and violence of a neo-Nazi gang. With this film, I wanted to see how their lives had been shaped by their brutal ideology. How had they coped with the everyday realities of living? I found three men who make no apology for their past and still hold extreme racist views. Nick and Neil have moved on in their different ways, but after almost a year with Colin, I don't know what he truly believes in. I've no idea what lies behind the mask of his beliefs.
Why are you hanging on to the past more so than the other people that I've met? Why? You always talk about the past.
It's not so much hanging on to the past. It's because apart from meeting Carla, the only time I felt as if I belonged and felt needed and felt part of something was anything from 20 years ago up until 10 years ago. So for about 10 years out of my life, I really, really felt as if what I was doing was right. I've always known what I feel is right. Whether you agree with what I believe in is right or not, I believe that it's right.
Well, what about you, Colin, as a person, without any of your beliefs? Forget all the beliefs. You as an individual, Colin. Not Colin right wing, not Colin with tattoos, not Colin with an image. What about that?
You're trying to say to me, well, look, Colin, fuck me, you're a 35-year-old man, you know, you've done this, you've done that, you've been up, you've been down, there's got to be more to you than this. And there isn't, Leo. And the reason there isn't is because I don't know anything else.